Yo, what's up guys, another video for me. I hope you're doing well, so do I. At first I wanted to say my sample pack is finally out. You can download it in the subscription down below. I added the link over there, so make sure to check it out. These presets are industry proof. I worked very hard on this preset pack the last couple of weeks. What does it contain? It contains 4 times ARPs, 4 times chords, 4 effects, 8 pads, 8 reese basses, 32 dirty basses and 36 liquid basses. So yeah, if you really want to improve your productions, make sure to download the sample pack. Yo, what's up guys? It's been a couple of days, but today another video for me. I really have to confess, Monrroe is one of my favorite artists, so I'm really focusing on that kind of liquid drum and bass right now. And of course I'm also making a couple of other genres. Sometimes you're just producing for a couple of hours and you find yourself deleting the song and all the work is for nothing. But yeah, that's producing. Everybody think it's always fun and you have a song in like a couple of minutes, but we all know how it goes. So yeah guys, what did I make today? Today I made a Monrroe kind of track. It's really dope. It has a really dark vibe and I really love it. I have to admit, I think the darker side of drum and bass is my favorite subgenre. So yeah, I'm kind of focusing on that for now. I'm talking a little bit too much. You guys just want to hear the track, so let's go. Then next, if you really like this project, you can download it as well on my website. I added the link in the subscription down below where you can download this project. Make sure to check it out. As a tip for you guys, at first I always start to make this pattern. So with all the sounds included, to really have like an idea how the track is going to end. Then from this I copy and paste the sounds that I want for the intro, for some energy build-up. What I'm usually doing, I use the heads to build up some tension. I added some automations, for instance a delay, a Valhalla reverb and also an EQ to introduce those heads very nice and smoothly. The heads, they sound like this with the automations. You can see I added some delay to it. Really nice. It goes from a really ambient sound to a more tight sound without reverb. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Then next I added some basses because these are very high frequency sounds and you also want some of the lower frequencies of the spectrum. So the basses, the mid basses and the sub. These are the patterns of the basses. At first I loaded up a wobble bass. It has some really nice harmonics, so it's more like a mid bass, mid to even mid high bass. Yeah, it's really nice. It sounds like this. So yeah, I reduced it a little bit with an EQ. Then next I cut it off some of the highs because I don't need it. Then also an OTT to compress the sound. Then the next sound is kind of a stutter bass. It's a really dark sound that can be used for the intro. This bass is just a preset from one of the sample packs that I downloaded, so I don't want to go in detail with this bass, but you can just copy and paste this preset. Then next we have the basses, the heads. Then the synths, I used a very cool sound. It's in Flex, it's a stock plugin of FL Studio. You can use this sound as well. What I did, I added a really simple chord progression, as you can hear. It's pretty dope. Then as for the effects, of course I added a lot of reverb, some delay. I EQ'd it a little bit because you don't need the lows for this sound. I added a tremulator for later in the track, some vintage verb with these settings, some Valhalla delay and an echo boy. Then the first part is sounding like this. Then for the next part I'm slowly introducing a pad, nothing too crazy because I don't want the high frequencies to clash with these frequencies of the drum loops. Okay dudes, I want to give you guys a tip as music producers to each other. I think at first when you start producing music you don't know. When people start making music they always tend to put a lot of songs inside of one track. So a lot of sounds are playing at the same time. And yes, that's possible, but then you really have to think about the frequency spectrum. And I want you to give an example on that. Let's say, for instance, you have 5 doors and 3 persons waiting per door. Each door represents, for instance, the subs, the basses, the mids, the mid-highs and the highs. And then every person will represent a sound. And then next, you cannot push every person through the same door at the same time. And that's exactly the case with music production. If you want to play 3 basses at the same time, that's never gonna happen. Like, it won't sound good. If you will play 3 subs on the same time, then it will clash and sound very muddy. So that's why music producers always use sidechaining. For instance, a kick and the bass. So when the kick is hitting, kicks also have lower frequencies. When the kick is hitting, the bass volume gets reduced. So you really have to think about making a track. It's kind of building a house or something, constructing a house. You don't just play sounds all together and see if it sounds good. You really have to think about, okay, first I'm going to use basses with this kind of frequency spectrum. Then I'm going to add some mid basses, for instance. Then I'm going to add some synths with these kind of frequencies. And then I have the heads that are very high frequency sounds. Then for the next part, I introduce some top loops from the Monrroe sample pack. It's really, really nice. I will introduce those head loops by an automation on the EQ. As you can see, I use a high cut. It slowly introduces the highs of these loops. Then I also automated some reverb, as you can hear. And then over here the track is beginning. Then next I added another sound. I also used a sound in Serum, I just used a preset. Then as well for this one I used a feedbacker preset from Echo Boy. And I cutted some of the lows off. Then next I'm adding a vocal loop, which is really nice. I got it from Splice. Then I automated some delay and a little bit of reverb with Valhalla Supermassive. Together that sounds like this.
There's something in the water, I feel it taking over me. It getting harder to breathe, to breathe, to breathe.
Pretty dope, right? Then next I added another vocal sound. And then after this vocal, the track is beginning. Then for this vocal I added some more effects. As you can see, I EQ'd some of the lows off. I added some reverb. I added a tremolator so it stutters a little bit. Then I added another tremolator. Some blood overdrive to make it stand out a little bit more, and some Polaris, which is a really nice plugin with some echoes, some hall presets, room effects, and vocal presets. So yeah, pretty nice. Altogether it sounds like this.
Taking over.
And then of course next the track is beginning. So I will play the intro first. Altogether it sounds like this. Okay guys, let's go to the main drum loop. At first I reversed the first kick. It's a pretty dope effect, you can hear it. You hear the zzz. It's pretty dope. Then next I added the kick. And I cut it this part of the kick because you can see it's a little bit distorted. Altogether the main drum loop sounds like this. At first I added a transient processor and I created a lot of space in the track by adding this transient processor. Because as you can hear, it really shapens up the drum loops together. Then next I added a native bus compressor with a preset. It adds a lot of punch to the drum loop. Then another compression plugin, I added the slow and tight preset. Then next I added some Xenon verb for the end of 16 bars. I'm introducing some reverb and I'm reducing then some of the highs. So that really creates like the end of 16 bars. So then you really hear when the 16 bars are ending. Next I added some FabFilter Saturn to add some saturation on the highs. So next let's go to the basses. This is the bass line pattern. It's really simple. It goes from B to E to G. Yeah, it's just a preset, nothing too crazy. This is a normal re-swarble that I used in the intro. Altogether it sounds like this. Then I added the sounds from the intro again. Then at the end of 16 bars I added a bass. It's really dope and sounds like this. It's also a preset in Serum. Then to keep the track a little bit interesting, I added another bass for the next 16 bars. You can see it over here. And to keep the track a little bit interesting, just play with the hi-hat loops or maybe even the main drum loop. You can really add some groove to it if you do that every 16 bars. Of course, mixing and mastering is really difficult. I think the first 2 or 3 years I didn't even know anything about mixing and mastering. But yeah, as my advice, watch a lot of tutorials on YouTube, create your own mastering and mixing chain. And eventually you will become better. I think it just needs a lot of practice, so you really have to focus on what are you doing with your track and what do you want with your track. This is just a quick mastering chain. I downloaded a reference track And usually what I'm doing, I play the reference track and then I watch how loud each frequency range is. You can see it over here. For instance, if I play my track, you can see how loud it is in each frequency spectrum. So for instance, if you see that the volume of your reference track is a lot higher than yours, then you can increase it by adding some EQs or maybe even boost the volume up of your sub or even compress it. This compressor is one of the best for EDM and also for drum and bass. It's really nice. I always use the mastering make it loud preset. It makes your track a little bit louder. As you can see, I increased these knobs a little bit. Some of the harshness gets reduced in the track. So yeah guys, that's basically it for this track. I hope you guys like it. If you guys want any advice about making music, producing drum and bass or even techno, just feel free to hit me up. My Instagram is down in the description. You can also download my sample pack over here. It contains 92 presets for Serum. Serum is one of the best plugins, so if you don't have it, come on man, everybody's using Serum. So buy Serum, maybe even buy my sample pack, but that's totally on you. This project is pretty dope. If you guys like this video, please subscribe to my channel and leave a like on this tutorial. That would help me out a lot. And see you guys next week. Ciao.
I feel it taking over me. It's slowly getting harder to breathe, breathe, breathe.